Hi guys, it is Winnie, and today I need to, with my shoes in the background, give you a quick video on the statement date versus the actual due date and what that means and why it's so important. A lot of you may already know this, but the statement date is the date that it reports to the credit bureaus. So if your statement date is the 15th, I always suggest to pay your credit card balance down to whatever you're able to do by 2 days prior to that. If it's the 15th, pay it down on the 13th to below, at least try to get it to passing. Passing is going to be 30%. Anywhere above 30% is an F in that category. An F in that category, I don't care if we take away all your negative items. I don't care if you get an A plus in all the other areas. If you do the math and you average out 5 areas and you have 4 A pluses and 1 F, your score is still going to be low and you're not going to get the maximum benefits. You won't be able to get into the 700 club, and I know that that's all of our goals, is to be in the 700 plus club. So take note, grab you some tea, coffee, water, wine, juice, whatever you need, and sit down, write down your credit cards, write down the statement date and the due date. So the statement date is the date that it reports to the credit bureau. When you look at the due date, what does that mean? Why is it even there? The due date is the date that it would register a late payment. And it also determines if you're going to pay interest. So if you're one of those people, and I'm here for it, that decides, I don't want to pay interest. So I don't want any balance to report. But what I've seen is a little bit of a balance, even $5, $10 to report on your profile gives a little bit of a benefit on a monthly basis because it shows activity. And a monthly bill, like a Netflix bill or a credit card bill on your credit card, and then paying it down to where there's a few dollars that's still reporting by the statement date, is the most beneficial versus just paying it down to $0. But let's say you're a stickler and you don't want to pay interest. I feel you want to save all your coins. You can do that. What you would do is, let's say, again, your statement date is the 15th. You would call your credit card. Hello, can I please change my statement date? My due date to, and let them know the date you want to change that due date to. You can change that date. You can't change the statement date, but you can change the due date. And when you change the due date, what you want to do is you're going to sit down with your coffee, your tea, your wine, your water, whatever. When you're sitting down looking over your budget and you're sitting down looking at your money and your financial situation because you want to stay on top of it, you say, okay, so I'm going to have I see my statement date is the 15th. I know I get paid on the 15th. I'm going to make sure that the due date is after the statement date. And that way I can pay off that balance to $0 in between the statement date and the due date, which would then give you $0 interest. And then after that, you can spend money or put your bill on it. And then 2 days before that statement date comes around again, you're going to make sure that you pay off that balance with just a few dollars reporting, minimum less than 7% being the magic number. And then you're going to pay it off between that statement date and the due date like clockwork. And you're going to see your credit score thrive. And you want to do this consistently, because as you do this consistently, you're moving like a person with a 750 plus score. That's how they move. They have high credit limits, because every time you get a letter or a call requesting, hey, or saying, hey, do you want to up your limit? You're going to say yes, because that's what you're going to get as you move like that, as you're doing that, that strategy. And what will happen is you'll one day look and you have a crazy limit and you're using budgeting and emergency funds to live. So you're not even thinking about the fact that you have $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 as a credit limit, because you're still keeping it to below 7% utilization. You're still only allowing $100 to report by the statement date. You're still only letting that Netflix bill report, or that cell phone bill. There we go. There's another small bill report, and you're still making sure that you pay that 2 days before the statement date, because we don't want them to be, tripping us up. We want it to report at a certain balance. And the reason why this is so important, because there are a lot of people who will pay their balances off and they're like, I'm paying my balances off. But if you're not timing it properly, if you're paying your balance off on the 15th or the 18th and your statement date is the 15th, then it's going to report the higher balance. And so you're not getting the results that you need. So ask your questions below, like, subscribe, and share. Talk to you soon. Bye.